Hi, in this video we'll look at the new version of change management and how the workflow is different from the previous version. We'll be recording a separate session where we'll highlight just the new version for anyone who's not familiar with the first version. But this video is more for someone who's transitioning from the previous version, so we'll be comparing and contrasting how this is different, how this is better, and what feedback we've incorporated from what we've heard based on usage of the first version, right? So we'll go ahead and start the change management mode. A lot of this is very similar. So you upload a new version of the questionnaire after you have the first version programmed, and here you can either choose whether it's a live survey or not. So again, very similar workflow as we had earlier, and choose just as a recap. If you choose it being a live survey, then of course the way we program those changes would be slightly different. So we wouldn't remove questions or labels. Instead, we would hide them and add new questions. So things like that are taken care of if you select that this is a live survey. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and make structural changes to the scripting, because we know that it hasn't collected any responses yet. So I'll go ahead and start. So the first change that you'll notice is while in the first version of change management, you would have seen a workflow where first we generate a plan, and of course that takes a while to generate. And once that generates, you review the plan, select the changes that you want to apply, and finally click on apply, and that is when the actual apply happens, right? So there are a couple of problems with this workflow. One is the fact that it's not very iterative in nature. So you have to first look at the plan for all the changes together, and then you apply it, and then again you have to review the code for all the changes together. So since these are very decoupled in terms of planning happening first and then apply happening second for all the changes together, it becomes a little difficult for you to review them twice, as two separate steps. The second problem that we heard is the plan itself is not very iterative in nature. So after you look at the plan, if you want to make changes and so on, it's very time consuming to again ask AI to update the entire plan, because of which you might entirely bypass updating the plan, and you're not really realizing the value of using the change management mode. So in the new version, you'll see a bunch of major changes. What stays the same is, of course, on the left you see the questionnaire with all the diff highlighted. So whatever has been removed is in red, whatever has been added is in green. So you can see all the changes that are happening. And in the middle, what you see is a chat experience. So now it's suddenly a lot more iterative, where you can just chat quickly with AI, asking it to make different changes. The conversation always starts with us asking AI to make high-level observations of what changes needs to be made, and sort of play out the plan. So that remains the same, and it is describing the plan, but much faster in this case. So here you can see that it's planning the first change, intro text update, second screening questions, require some attribute changes. Section 2, current indoor activity landscape, there are some changes in those questions. The loop is being updated. Concept evaluation, here again some text changes as well as validation changes. It's planning what new REST tag to add based on unit text which is being added, all of those things. So it's listing all the changes together at first. So now if you have any high level reactions to any of these plans, you can quickly ask AI to replan based on the feedback that you have. But otherwise what you can do is you can just say yes, proceed with the first change. And here what you'll see happen is instead of planning all the changes together and then applying all the changes together, it's going to plan and apply the first change together right away, right? So since we asked it to make the first change, it is first describing how it's going to make that change, and then it actually made the change. You can both see a preview of that particular change here, and on the right you can also see the full XML file where the change is being made, right? So in real time you can see what change it is making instead of applying it towards the end. It's also giving me a suggestion of what I can say next So since the first change is applied, now the suggested reply is looks good. Now proceed with screening questions update. So I'll click on that and I'll click on send, and now it will implement the second change. So I'll just give it a few seconds. And now it's again based on the second change, it's making multiple changes in the XML file. You can see that in question 1 it added shuffles equals rows, and then added the third row, randomize equals 0 for the third row. So it is anchoring the third option based on the new instruction that is given in the questionnaire. So there's an anchor instruction and a randomize instruction, so it implemented that. Similarly, it added a new SQ3 question. It renamed SQ3 industry to SQ4. So all of the same changes that are being described on the left in the questionnaire based on what has changed from one version to the other, it's being planned and implemented here. And again, you can see that as these changes are coming in chat, they're also in real time being updated on the right in the XML file. So at any given point, you can see what is happening, what are the changes made so far in the XML file. This process sort of goes on until the end, so you can keep chatting with AI to make change one by one. And it's a lot more iterative, because instead of just applying change, you can also ask it to make some fixes. If the way it planned to make the change is not correct, you can just ask it, hey, this is not what I want to do, change the approach and do something else, and then it will make that update also in real time on the right. So this goes on until you make all the changes that you need. Of course, for smaller changes, we've also made it easy to make updates yourself in real time. So the editor on the right is also fully editable. So any change that you make is updated in real time. So you can always hand over from AI and make changes manually, and then again go back to AI and ask AI to make the remaining changes. Once you've done all the changes, the final exit workflow remains the same, which is you click on exit to survey editor. You confirm that you want to save all the changes that have been made so far, and then it will take you back to the editor after applying all the changes that you made so far, both in the XML file as well as the new version of the questionnaire being saved. So that's a quick look at how change management mode has evolved from the version 1 that we had so far to the version 2 that we are releasing today.